standpoint of Oklahoma's development and future, that we have more to gain from holding the line on taxes. That is, carrying out this idea of more taxpayers instead of more taxes. Oklahoma even more attractive to industry. And we've gone into a period now of out of this national recession into climate. Looking again toward expansion. So it's a new taxes, income taxes, feature of that bill that lowers personal we've gone into a period now of out of this national recession into climate standpoint of nation's economy. And again, your industries are looking again for toward expansion. So it's a perfectly ideal time for us to hold the line. Therefore, I want to make myself crystal clear on it to the extent that we will oppose any tax increases in this session. The most undemocratic proposal that is pending before the legislature now, proposing new taxes, is the one submitted to raise income taxes, and the feature of that bill that lowers personal exemption from $1,000 to $800 and from $2,000 for a married couple to $1,750. It's completely inconsistent with and contrary to Democratic Party principles, which have been to increase personal exemptions. And this measure, submitted by Senator Ray Fine, goes in just the opposite direction and increases the burden on the low-income taxpayer.
We can only kind of guess. We feel that those taverns that are inclined to be a little shady now will be probably more shady with the event of repeal, because the beer ministers will probably drop off some, and they will have to maybe encourage some gambling or prostitution or something else in the place in order to stay open.
Are you recommending any specific provisions to be included in a potential new law?
Only that just the whole law be strengthened to where we have closer control, and where the policeman will have some kind of a tool to work with. As it is, he doesn't. No, they can't. There's some 516 places in Oklahoma City licensed to sell beer on the premise. Now, the majority of them places, luckily, conform to law pretty well. But we have a number of them that are licensed by one person and operated by someone else that are pretty shaky. This time, we have very little control over that situation.
Just 5 months ago, at the beginning of the year, Oklahoma City covered a total area of 78 square miles. Tomorrow, if the City Council takes the required action it is expected to do, Oklahoma City will swell its borders over 165 square miles. Mayor Norrick will bang his gavel down to start the council meeting promptly at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and a substantial part of the docket deals with recommendations by the City Planning Commission to annex some 12 separate areas covering 19,200 acres. 9,000 of these acres extend south from the present city limits to the Cleveland County line and east of Will Rogers Field to the western boundaries of Tinker Air Force Base. 4,000 acres, recommended for annexation tomorrow, lie south of Reno Avenue. 5,000 more are located north of the city in various tracts of land as far as 1 mile north of Memorial Road. The total acreage amounts to just over 30 square miles, and if all are approved at tomorrow's council meeting, the city's limits will be over double what they were at the beginning of this year. But with more land and more people to take care of, the problem of servicing these areas still has not made itself felt in the city departments, perhaps because vast tracts of annexed land are largely unpopulated as of now. A spokesman for the city's garbage department told WKY TV News today that his pickups have increased at the rate of 200 to 300 a month for several years, and that recent annexations have not had any effect on this figure. The department, however, does have a roving disposal truck, which he says could be used if it gets any calls demanding garbage service from a point that used to look distant, but now is a part of Oklahoma City. Apparently, even though we are now double our old size, the problem everyone wondered at, the demand for more and greater services, has still not materialized. When the miles and miles of new land begin to be developed, perhaps then it will be a different story. This is Virgil Dominic, WKY TV News.
77 subtracted from 125 would leave 48 House members yet to be apportioned. And we'll apportion them strictly on a population basis, with no limit to the number that Oklahoma or Tulsa County might have. If you're going to have it according to population, well, let's leave it that way. Now, on the Senate, it was agreed in there. Of course, all this is subject, you boys all get a look at this. This is all subject to the will of the Senate. On the Senate, leave it just as it is today. No change whatsoever. 44 senators, districts as they are now comprised.